Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Chris, and this video is part of the Project Nebula playlist, our step-by-step journey to building a fully self-hosted home server. Today we are going to set up the storage that will power our server. We'll be formatting either a microSD card or an NVMe drive and creating three essential partitions: system boot, writable, and a data partition dedicated to storing all the information used by your self-hosted services. We are building this on BTRFS, a modern file system that brings powerful features like snapshots, compressions and volumes, strong data protection, and it's perfect for a home server environment. You can do all of this from any Linux PC or by booting a Linux Leaf environment such as Ubuntu Desktop. Just make sure you have either a microSD card with a USB adapter or an NVMe with a PCI Express to USB adapter. Remember, all the commands used in this tutorial are available on my website. The link is in the description down below, along with the complete Project Nebula playlist so you can follow the entire project from start to finish. Let's jump right in. Okay guys, so in order to follow my tutorial, you can go to this website, and in here you will find the Ubuntu install tutorial. So you can read the specification, what we are going to do, what will come next. So to get this started, we're going to first of all list our devices. So you can do that with list blocks if you want the file system. If not, it's okay. So here you can see I only have one device, the device alpha. So I'm going to connect right now the device I'm gonna use in my Raspberry Pi. I'm gonna call this the Raspberry Pi device. So it can be this one or the NVMe drive. So I'm gonna do it right now with the SD, okay? Okay, so let's list the blocks that we have right now. Control C, list block. So now you can see the B, the device Bravo. So and it has some partition in it. So I'm gonna delete all of it and I'm gonna do it all over again. Okay, so in order to do that, you have to unmount your device. So I'm gonna follow this tutorial. This is gonna be my guide. So you type sudo, you mount devices sdv and asterisk for all the partitions. Just remember to use your letter, the letter that applies to you. So I'm gonna unmount all of them. Okay, it's a warning, but it's okay. SDV is not a partition, it was not mounted. This was not mounted anywhere, but the other two of them, they were unmounted. So now I'm gonna use gdisk to create the partitions. So sudo disk device sdv without any partition, the whole device, which is Bravo. I found an invalid GPT, invalid MBR. So it doesn't matter, I'm gonna create a new one with the letter O. This is the option, so I'm gonna create that one, and I'm gonna delete all of them, and I'm gonna create a partition, the default, and the default first sector. And for the last sector, I'm gonna choose plus 512 megabytes, and the code of the partition type is EF00. EF00. So you do that. In order to see the changes, you can print the table with P, and it will show you the partition number, the first sector, end sector, the size of the partition, the code of the type of partition, and the name of the type of partition. So this is the first one for booting. And now we are going to create the root one, and the afterwards we are going to create the data one for our services. So we go again with n. Okay, so I'm gonna create another one, n. Oh, partition number 2, enter. I'm sorry, it was a typo, it's only one n. Okay, this was a typo. So, and the first sector available, enter. The last sector I'm gonna use for my root partition 30 GB. I recommend you take as much as you can and leave the rest for your data. So I'm gonna take, this is a 60 GB drive, so I'm gonna take half of it almost. So plus 30 gigabytes, and the code is a Linux default type of partition, so it's this one, the default one. It's okay. I'm gonna press enter, and now we can print the table again, and now we have our second partition. I'm gonna do that again, create. The default is 3. I'm gonna leave it like that. The first sector available, I'm gonna leave it like that, and the last sector is, and the rest what is available, I'm gonna take all of the space available. And with the same code, it is a Linux file system, I'm gonna use the default one, and now I'm gonna print. These are the changes that are gonna apply in my device. So a boot partition, a root partition, and a data partition. So I'm gonna write or save the changes, and I'm gonna say yes, and now it's doing the job. So now I can double check that with list block and file system, the option file system, and it says now Bravo has a bfat and an ext4 with a label writable. I'm gonna change all of that right now. So for the first one, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna make a file system for that. So if you don't have BTRFS package, you can install it with this one, and after you install it, you can go with this command, which is sudo make file system bfat fat32 with the name system boot. This is very important, the system boot, because if you don't have this label, your Raspberry Pi might not boot properly, and you just have to change your device letter and keep the partition 1. So I'm gonna copy this one, and I'm just gonna replace this one for B, lowercase. It's okay, this wording it's okay. Now we're gonna make the file system BTRFS for our second partition, which is this one, and I'm gonna replace the letter for B. Sudo make file system BTRFS device B and partition 2 with the label writable. This is very important to keep the system boot and writable labels. Okay, an existing ext4, we have to overwrite that one, so we will have to use the force option. So up arrow, I'm gonna use the force one to make it BTRFS. That's good. And now with the last one, I'm gonna call it my data dev. You can call it what you prefer. I recommend to keep it like that, but it's up to you. The label you want to give to this one is up to you. I'm gonna call my data device, but you can call it as you prefer. So we go here with Bravo, device Bravo, and partition 3. So now you can double check with list blocks and file systems, and now we see we have the bfat, the BTRFS, and BTRFS for my data. So you can download any server release or version that you want from Ubuntu. I recommend the LTS. So up to the last one. This is the last one, so you can use it if you want. This is the link. So after you download from this link, it's gonna be XZ file. It is going to have an XZ file extension. It is like a compressed file, so you will need to uncompress this file. So let's say you already download all of this file, let's say. So after you download this file, you're going to uncompress it with this command, and make sure this is the name of your image. If it is not, just replace the name of your image, and you should be in the downloads directory. So that's why we changed the directory to downloads. After that, we are gonna mount the image, because after you decompress this one, you're just going to have you're going to have just the img file extension, the image, directly after compressed, and you will lose the compressed file, but it's okay. So you will have the image in the downloads folder or directory. And then we are going to mount this image in a virtual device, and for that we are going to use this this command. Okay, so we're gonna do that right now. I think I already have that in my directory. Let's see. Sudo list and downloads. So I have my file here. This is the image, this is img. So I'm gonna use this command to mount the image in a virtual device, so I can use it. So Control L, Control Shift B if you want to paste. So it says sudo mount the virtual device, the partition and file system of the image. It is in downloads. This is the file. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna list block with file system, and I'm gonna look for my loop device, my virtual device. In this case mine is 42, but yours can be 10, 11. It depends on your system, and if you have already mounted some devices. Mine is 42, so I'm gonna keep going with 42. How do I know that? Because it has two partitions, partition 1 and partition 2. This loop, the same 42, has two partitions, and one is labeled system boot and the other one is writable. That's why I know. So we're gonna mount these images, these devices, virtual devices, in a directory. So you will have to create the directories with this command, and if you don't have it, you can create it, and if you do have it, you can use it. So I think I already have these directories, so let me check. Sudo list mnt image. Let's list. I have both directories that I need for my image, and I would like to check on Raspberry Pi device, and I have my other two. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mount the image in these two directories, and from here I'm gonna copy all the information of the image here to my Raspberry Pi device that I just connected, formatted, and make the file system on the Bravo device. So after you created these directories with this one, we're gonna mount them. So let's start with this one. Copy. Okay, Control L, Control Shift B, and now I can go Control arrow, and I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna put my loop device, which is number 42. Yours could be different, and partition 1, and I'm gonna mount that in image and system boot. Okay, and I'm gonna do the same, but for this one, for the other partition, partition 2, and the loop 42. Okay, and now I'm gonna mount my Bravo device. Yours could be Charlie or Delta, it depends on your system. So I'm gonna paste this one, Ctrl Shift B, and I'm gonna replace this DX for Bravo, which is mine. Yours could be different. So mount this device in this directory. Same applies to the other partition. So writable, Bravo partition 2 in writable. It's very important to keep these labels, okay? So now I'm gonna copy all the information from the partition 1 to the Raspberry Pi device, and the partition 2 of the image to the Raspberry Pi device, which is the root. The first one is the boot for booting, and the last one is the root partition. So I'm gonna do that. I'm not gonna change anything because the directories should be the same. It doesn't matter if it is Charlie, Bravo, Delta. So they are already mounted in these directories. I'm gonna execute this command, and we're gonna wait while it copy and paste all those files. The A is for archive mode. So it will copy the files with ownership and many more options, and the V is for verbose, so you will see what it is copying right now in the terminal. So you need to modify 3 files in order to boot properly. This is very important, and be very careful. If you messed with these files, then you will have to remove all the files in the Raspberry Pi device and copy them all over again. So be careful. We have to modify, edit these ones. We cannot copy and paste them because of the ownership. So we are gonna edit them with sudo. Okay, so be careful with that. I gave you an example over here, so we're gonna look each of these examples while it copies and pastes. So the first one is this the CMD line. All of these 3 files are in the boot partition of the Raspberry Pi that we copied from the image. So you can find all of the 3 files here in the first partition. So let's see, it is still copying. So the only thing that changed in this file was we have to edit the root file system type from ext4, which is the default, to BTRFS, because our partitions are in BTRFS. So we have to change that. We have to keep writable, because if you don't keep the writable label, then you will have problems at booting with a Raspberry Pi. So this is the only change we are gonna make. So it's pretty simple. So let's have this done, and we're gonna do that. And for the network config, I let the Ethernet or cable have DHCP, so you'll have dynamic IP, but I set the Wi-Fi IP fixed. So you just have to type this information, and you have to know your SSID of your Wi-Fi and the password for your Wi-Fi and your gateway. Some of them are 192.168.1.1. Mine is 0.1. So have that in mind. If you are not sure about that, over here there is a command to know. You can type IP address on the terminal, and you can see that IP address, ADDR, and it will show you that information. Okay, so let's go with the first one. I think, oh no, it's taking a little bit more time. So in the network, you just have to change that one, the SSID, the password, and I recommend to use an IP above 200, so the DHCP will not have that IP busy, and our server can connect without any problem. If you messed with this file and you turn on your Raspberry Pi, then you're gonna have a problem when you try to access it via SSH. I'm gonna turn on the light right now, 1 second. Much better. Okay, so let's see, it's still copying. And the last one, it's the user data file. So in this one you are going to set your username, so you'll have sudo access to make commands as sudo. We're gonna use the bin bash shell, and we are gonna change our password once we log in for the first time, so it is more secure than leaving your password on text here, on plain text. So you can do that. So the password, the first password, the temporary one, will be 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8. But after the first login, you will be requested, you will be prompted to change it for an 8 digit password. So that's it. Let's see if this finishes, and I will see you in 1 second. Okay guys, so it already completed copying the files, so we are going to modify the first file, which is cmd line. So we go here, we clear the console, and we're gonna go with the sudo nano. We go to the directory where the first partition is mounted, which is image, sorry, it's Raspberry Pi, and system boot, and here you will find all the files, so cmd and tab. So we go with enter, and here is what I told you, the original file is in ext4, so we need to change that one for BTRFS. So BTRFS, that's the only thing we're gonna change. Control X, Y, enter, and we're gonna do the same for the network config. So in here you will find that you only have the interface of cable Ethernet with DHCP, so you can uncomment the Wi-Fi and set it as with your information. So an example of it is here. You have to uncomment this one. Be careful with the indentation, so Wi-Fi should be at the same level of Ethernets, and 2 spaces in to the right should be the wireless. Okay, so it's 2 spaces indentation, so you can go here and uncomment this one and uncomment this one. You can keep this one comment, and you can uncomment this one and say false. So the server keeps booting even without this interface. If it is not if it was true and there is a problem with the connection of the interface, then you will not have proper boot. It will not continue. So you go here and you uncomment this one and uncomment this one. This is my home Wi-Fi is your SSID. So if your SSID of your Wi-Fi, the ID of your Wi-Fi has some oh sorry, well anyway, you can put this information again. So let's say your SSID is something like family and space and family 2, let's say something like that, I don't know. Then just keep it inside quotation marks. Okay, if it is in it has spaces, keep this SSID in between quotation marks, and comment this one, and as well the password, even if it is one word, just keep it inside the quotations mark. This is very important, especially for numbers. So let's say it's like this. Okay, so we have WLAN 0, and we have optional false, we have access points, which are these two, and now we need the addresses. So you can copy this, you can copy that with the indentation, copy. So you can come here, enter, and Control Shift B, and these addresses should be at the same level with access points. Let me check. Yeah, these addresses is at the same level with access point. So, or just so have it in mind. So you can come here and check the indentation. 1 2 3 4 5 6 1, and let's start from here. 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. So it is at the same level. So in here you have to set your IP address. I would recommend, I highly recommend above 200. So you can go with 210, and the gateway is this one. Okay, so the gateway is this one, and yours could be 1.1, mine is 0.1, so have it in mind. And you can keep the name servers addresses like this. This is Google, so it's okay. And so after you edit that one, you're gonna press Ctrl X, Y, enter, and now we edited our second file successfully. And now we go for the third one, which is username, the user of your server. So we go with this one, Control arrow, and Control delete, and we go with user and tab and enter. After that, so in here you only will see SSH that we have to turn on as true, because you want to access it via SSH. And we have to uncomment this one, hostname, and I want my hostname to be Nube. And here you're gonna make some space, and you're gonna copy paste this information, copy, and Control Shift B. It is with a good indentation. So you just have to change this for your username. Let's say mine is okay, mine is Chris. Log password force, we'll keep it like that. We are going to use bash, and we are going to have sudo permissions for all the possible situations that we need to use sudo. So, and here we have to set change password as true, because we want to be prompted to change the password as soon as we log in, so we don't have our password in plain text. So in here in users, you have to write down again the same user that you set here. It is very important. Remember, Chris, and the password, remember, it should be in quotation marks. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8. You can set it ABC or whatever you would like, and that's it. That's all you have to change. So let's see here. We have default. Your username. All of this information is in our file. It's already edited. Expire true. This is very important, Chris. And the password, and type text. okay, and the host name, which is this one, and the password true. It doesn't matter, it is not in this exact order, as long as it is uncommented and this one is true, it's okay. So finally you go with Control X, Y, enter, and now your partition is good to go. So we're going to unmount it, and now we can, as you see, here, and there it is. Let me see something. Okay, so as you can see here, we have Bravo 1 and Bravo 2. It is mounted, so we're going to unmount them. Sudo u unmount, sudo u mount, and devices SDV, all of them. So as you see, the B, the Bravo without any number, will give us a warning because it is not mounted. The other two are mounted, and the 3 is not mounted, so we'll have 2 warnings. And there you go, you can now unplug it. So right now you can take it from the adapter, as USB adapter, and now you can connect the micro SD card, or the directly you can use your NVMe drive directly with the case if you want. Even if you want to use the adapter, USB adapter for the micro SD card, although it's not necessary, the Raspberry Pi already has a connection for this one, so you can use it. And we will boot, and we will see what's the process like to connect via SSH. So we're gonna use this command, SSH, your username, your IP address, in between an @ so in my case is SSH Chris at 192.168.1.0 and 210. So this is the first time I connect to my server. It doesn't know if it is secure to connect to it, and I'm gonna type yes. So it will add my server to my known hosts, and I'm gonna put the password. So in here you will be prompted to change your password immediately. It will prompt you to put your old password, which should be 1 2 3 4 5 6 8 or ABC, whatever you set, and afterwards an 8-character password. If you want a shorter password, you should just keep it like that, maybe 1 2 3 8 again, and then you have to go with sudo and password pass wd, and then your username, and it will request your the old one and the new one. Okay, I don't want to change that, so I'm gonna Control C, or I'm gonna put the same. So that's it. Now you are in your server. You are in Nube, or whatever hostname you set. So you can go with sudo apt update, and for the next step is to access to my server via a keygen, and so we're gonna do that afterwards because it's not secure to access it via a password. So we're gonna change that in the next video. So hope you liked it. Stay tuned. We're going to put some services, install some services in our server, so don't miss my future videos, and hope you liked. Hit the like button, subscribe to see more of this content. Thank you.